Hi, beautiful souls. Following on from my conversation from yesterday, if you are navigating pain, suffering, what you may perceive as pain and suffering from illness, disease, or some kind of condition that is holding you somewhat back from enjoying the fullness and the aliveness that you are, then I also wish to bring your attention to this. Sometimes in our sharing, we must be very conscious. We must always be very conscious, be very present with who we're sharing our journeys with. Now, what I mean by this is that there will be some friends, some relatives that will literally dine out on your energy, will dine out on your situation, experience that you're going through. And they will perpetuate that within their own circles as something to talk about. And this, although we cannot control what others say, isn't necessarily what we want. So therefore, we must be careful how we share certain things. So, for example, when we are giving descriptions of how we are feeling, do not exaggerate your descriptions or say too much in your descriptions that could be a way for others to co-create something that you do not want in your live stream. So you don't say the pain is through the roof, or I don't know, whatever it is. If they're going to keep saying, oh, they're experiencing pain through the roof, or do you know what I mean? You want to keep it as neutral as possible. So neutrality is not just about an inner state of being able to manage no matter what is going on around us in the external, but keeping our internal state pure, peaceful, and aligned with grace. But also having the wisdom and the discernment to know what to share and the wording in which to share it. This may seem like a lot of work, and it can be at first, because as we find our footing, we are also finding our wording, and our wording does change the more conscious and aware we become, because we realize there are certain words that actually don't support our journeys, and there are some words that are controversial. I know that some of you watching these videos have a certain view of certain words, and I understand your point of view, and I do my best to leave certain words out of the comments if I know that they're not words that resonate with certain people. But for instance, blessings I use a lot, and I don't have a problem with that word, but I know a lot of people think it's not as powerful as it is. So that's just an example. But there are so many other words that we're using all the time to describe our lives, words that we use to describe what's going on. And sometimes they just really don't support our journeys. In fact, I would say that this is certainly something that a lot of people could pay more attention to be really considerate about how they select the words that they use. And like I said, it can be a lot of work at first because we're having to change something we've become accustomed to. Most people use a vocabulary, the same vocabulary and the same words that they've been using a long time. And they use it on overdrive. So they don't actually think about what they're saying. They're so accustomed to their language that they just spout their language without giving it much consideration. This is a very sloppy way to communicate, because when you're not introducing new words or reading books or applying yourself, then you're only going to keep yourself within a certain field of consciousness, because you're only going to keep yourself in a sphere of the words that you're using to create feeling from your heart, and that expansion won't move outwards because that expansion is limited by what you're saying to yourself and what you're saying about the world around you. So push out of the borders, listen to yourself. Sometimes just record yourself. Hear what you have to say about what you are thinking and feeling. You could even just set up your camera on your phone and just say, right, for the next few minutes, I'm just going to talk about how I'm feeling right now. And I'm just going to just say it without thinking about it, and then listen to it back and say, how can I make that more powerful so that I can feel more empowered and that I can move beyond whatever it is that I need to move beyond. And hey, you might not need to move beyond anything. You might be doing great. And if so, I celebrate and I rejoice with you, because that's what I hope and I wish for everyone, that they are feeling good and feeling wonderful, because that's what it's about. But be aware that there will be some beings out there, some very loved beings, that will be so nosy and want to know all of the drama of your live stream if you're not well, because they want to perpetuate it and talk about it. Some people, it's amazing how when you talk to them, they always tell you about who's died, who's ill, who's just having to go through some horrible medical procedure and stuff like this. And you think, God, how is it this person always seems to have these conversations at hand? It must be at the forefront of their mind that these are the conversations they have perpetuated throughout their lives. Whereas I'm sure that there are other things that they could be talking about, but they bring these to the front of the conversation first. Maybe you're one of those people that thinks that way. I remember I can't remember the coach's name now, because it's been quite some time since I did my coaching diploma a long time ago, but there was one particular coach. He said, I'm not interested in a knowing about the dead. I want to know about who's alive. And when he said that, I thought, yeah, you know what? I get you. I get that. So, and he was basically saying about how people come up and, having the interactions and hey, did you hear that so-and-so died, or blah, blah, blah. And that was his response. It's like, I'm not interested in a knowing about who's dead. I want to know who's alive, who's living, who's flowing, who's streaming, what's going on. And that's the point, the aliveness we bring to the table, the aliveness we bring to the global stage, and the aliveness that we share with one another. Not about all of the woes and the difficulties that others are going through. That's not our business. That's for them to navigate and for us to support and to care about, but not to carry and not to perpetuate and co-create that makes them smaller still. So that's something for consideration, something to be aware of, how we choose our language, the language we choose to share with others, how we describe ourselves, how we describe any situation that we are navigating, and whether it supports our journey or whether we're actually depleting our life force by making ourselves sound worse in order to please others, to give them what they are wanting, because we know when somebody is reveling in something. Oh gosh, oh, that's so awful, goodness me. So be aware. The more awareness and consciousness we bring to the table, the better it is for all. Keep shining the light, keep letting the light flow within and throughout, and grace yourself with love in everything that you say about yourself and everything that you say about others. Peace, love, and joy to you all. Many blessings. My name is Zaza. I come to you from the field with Lanto Lightfoot somewhere. Yeah, there he is. He's playing his Find It game. In the mornings, I throw some cookies down for him to find, and you'll see in the distance the crows are waiting for him to see if he's left any behind. Hopefully he has. Anyway, much love to you all. Peace. Like, subscribe, and share, please. Thank you for all of the new subscribers. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all of the lovely comments. I have done my best to reply to as many as I possibly can. I know that there are some that don't always show up. I replied to a comment today from 4 months ago that I never saw at the time. So sometimes comments, I don't know why they don't show up, but They don't show up always. Love, light, and peace to you all. Peace.